I am reminded of another related sector which has leapfrogged to become at par with the film industry, that is the television broadcasting sector, which has progressed from a one television channel in the early 90s to more than 700 channels in 2011. Television channels produce more content in a month than the entire film industry puts together in a year. I bring the example of TV broadcast channels to this discussion as I see them as a potential of the way forward as regards certification. Of late, there have been frequent calls for pre-censoring content on television. However, with television content going on air every minute, every hour, and on 24/7 basis, 365 days a year, it is not only impractical but also impossible. Hence, a possible solution would be to have in place some sort of self-certification and regulation mechanism that does not have any government intervention unless absolutely required. Here are some examples. There are self-regulatory mechanisms set up by the Advertising Standard Council of India, and I'm sure Prahlad will tell us more about it, and the News Broadcasters Associations, the NBA, that have been successfully running for a number of years, providing content regulation and complaint redressal mechanism services for the industry and consumers. These bodies have no government representation, and instead are run by an independent and autonomous body constituted of members of the judiciary, civil society, media experts, etc. The principle of voluntary compliance and certification by the members are the cornerstone of these self-regulatory bodies. The ASCI and the NBA have developed their own respective codes of conduct and certification, and the same have been very effectively implemented. They have proved the scaremongers and pessimists wrong that in a developing country like India, self-regulation is a misnomer and would not work. Once the industry arrives at a common goal to serve responsibly in a competitive environment, there should be no problems. I do believe that a self-regulatory mechanism would ensure an element of objectivity in viewing and addressing the highly emotive and sensitive issues relating to TV content. A constructive partnership between the government and the industry bodies like NBA and ASCI have ensured that the system of self-regulation has been working effectively in addressing the concerns of all the stakeholders, including the television viewing audience. I congratulate the ministry for these efforts in this regard. Some recent examples of voluntary compliance by news television channels that may have escaped our attention but highlight the maturity shown by the news television channels in adhering to the code drawn by the NBA was when the Ayodhya verdict was delivered. The restrained manner in which reporting was done showed a marked improvement from the way the TV channels covered the 26/11 terrorist attacks in Mumbai. This was primarily due to an advisory from INB to the NBA and the NBA to its members to adhere to the advisory, failing which action would be initiated. Similarly, the ASCI regularly examines complaints as well as takes up suo motu on advertisement-related complaints. Even though both the codes are voluntary in nature, the stakeholders respect the mandate given to these bodies and adhere strict compliance. There are glowing examples of how peer pressure within the industry, which works effectively as the characteristics of these bodies are consultative, independent, and autonomous, with participation of the stakeholders, civil society, and media experts. Such a setup functions more effectively than a statutory or government-run authority when it comes to content creation and freedom of expression, and also in lesser litigation and time spent in courts. I'm sure with the experience of the effectiveness of the NBA and ASCI models, the IBF self-regulatory mechanism too would evolve if the stakeholders behave responsibly. The ministry gives all support and guidance. In particular, the ministry should consider giving more teeth to these self-regulatory bodies by giving some sort of statutory backing, also so that the code becomes the industry standard and effective in handling any issues in an emerging and young industry like television broadcasting. I wonder if this could be a model that could be replicated for the film industry. It's clearly food for thought, since even today, film producers do self-certify movies before sending it to the CBFC. So why not extend the above principles to movies also and develop an industry-based content code and complaint redressal mechanism which will be devoid of political interventions and also prevent harassment of movie producers by vested interests across the country. There is no doubt that such a practice, if adopted in India, will make it a role model for other democracies to follow, as there will be no place for rampaging mobs, moral policing, and censorship by those who are in power. Having said this, I know that this is going to take a long time before this is going to become effective. And so, within that period, all the remarks that you made, I think, will remain valid, which is basically a filmmaker should have the right to make the film that she wants to make and she wants it to be viewed with awareness that certain films are not for children's viewing, certain films are not for the entire audience. And so one of the suggestions that was made, that today we have only 3 certificates and maybe we need to widen that net and make it bigger, which is the system, because we have inherited what is the British system of censorship. Instead, if we follow what is the American model, whereby the filmmaker says, I want this film to be seen in the form it is, and so I am voluntarily saying that, all right, this is the certificate I will take. Or then the filmmaker decides, no, I will voluntarily make the cuts because I want it to be seen by. The artistic right remains with the filmmaker who has made the film and is a responsible member of society, not forgetting though that the filmmaker also has a right, like every artist does, to provoke, to stimulate, to further dialogue. It would have been very easy to say when Fire was made 10 years ago that there is no way this film should be certified because the people of India are not ready for it. I think we make a great mistake when we say the people of India are not ready for it. We made a film, Mahesh Bhatt is present here with me, more than, I think it was in '84, a film called Earth. And when the film was made, everybody saw the film and said, it's wonderful, but you have to change the end. It's completely, and I'm not talking about the censor board here, I'm talking about distributors who said, a woman saying no to her husband after he has apologized will not be accepted at all. You have to change the end. Mercifully, we dug our heels in, and you realize that people more than celebrated the film, because oftentimes we are out of sync with what the audience is ready for. And in an evolving society where the position of women has changed over the years, where you're in this completely amazing state where you have a woman president, you have a woman Lok Sabha speaker, you have the leader of the opposition, the leader of the ruling party, all of them women, so many chief ministers women. The position of women is changing, and it is very important that we manage to reflect these sensibilities by creating a sensitive understanding of what it is that we need to negotiate to create more space for women.